Terence, when did you know that you were going to beat him over here on your left?
When he signed the contract.
Why the hell was old Canelo Alvarez take the rematch? All right, why would he start negotiating? And there's a few things going on here. Number one, there was a rematch clause.
Listen, however they rate me, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we got to fight, and I'm going to win the fight. It's simple as that.
I try it, but my body just no let me go.
He is a desperate man who wants to keep his family name alive. Most fans thought the story was over after the embarrassing show in September 2025. We thought the torch had been passed and that Canelo would run off into the sky. We got it wrong. And before the end of 2025, Saul Canelo Alvarez went to see his home network, TVA, and talked about his plans for next year, which include a number of sport projects. He also said again that his main goal in the ring is to fight Terence Crawford again. Talks are already going on for this to happen, and he wants it more than anything else. Big news! Canelo Alvarez has finally used his right to a rematch. Crawford had been asked to join him in a second war in May 2026. This isn't just a normal combat statement. This is a last-ditch effort to become the #1 champion again.
As TV Azteca, Mexican boxing channel, is reporting that 4-division world champion, 2-time undisputed super middleweight, first ballot Hall of Famer, Mexican superstar boxer Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is 63 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout, has indeed now, after suffering another loss, after having surgery on his elbow, he is now of the mindset that he can overcome the mountain that it was in September in the form of 5-division world champion, 3-division undisputed world champion, pound for pound king, #1 fighter in the world, first ballot Hall of Famer, superstar boxer, Terence "Bud" Crawford.
But is he asking for forgiveness or getting ready for another beating that will end his career? Let's look into the trouble. After the setback in September, the Alvarez group was very quiet, but it finally came out on Mexican TV. Canelo showed up out of the blue on TV as the lost main character, and he wasn't acting at all like the cold, music-controlled businessman we usually see. Reports from the network say that Canelo said a repeat with Terence Crawford is his #1 goal. He didn't leave any room for doubt. He made it clear that talks about 2026 have already started and that he is ready to fight no matter what.
I'm not bull jiving. Listen, Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Terence "Bud" Crawford in negotiations to happen 2026, the rematch. And let me tell you something.
This phrase at all costs tells us a lot. Canelo usually negotiates with the upper hand, looking for catch weights and rehydration terms. Sources close to him say that he would even bend the knee to get Crawford back in the ring. The video, which has been shared a lot on X, formerly Twitter, shows a man who looks motivated.
Can you describe what it all means to you to have, you just made like a whole resume of stuff tonight?
It means a lot to me because, anybody can be a nobody, like I said, and that's all they say I've been fighting is nobodies. So what can they say now? Somebody tell me, what can you say now?
You can say congratulations.
That's it. What can you say? Any words?
Thanks.
I bet you did.
He isn't looking for a tune-up fight or a quick payday against a mandatory foe. He can't get enough of the man who made him look normal.
I believe they have a rematch clause. I'm not sure exactly. I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of wording because Canelo doesn't enter a fight without some kind of wording in terms of a rematch clause. But he's just not going to beat Terence Crawford. It's the style's all wrong for him. The movement's all wrong for him. And that's what I said. Going into the fight, I really believe Crawford would win in the style that he did.
But why are you so obsessed? To understand this, we need to go back to the 13th of September, 2025, the night the myth died. On another Mexican Independence Day, Canelo Alvarez was meant to be having fun. The plot that led up to the fight was pretty simple. It was too little for Terence Crawford. Some people thought Bud was too strong when he fought the super middleweight champion who was 3 weight classes above him.
I mean, excuse my language, the size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. Canelo Alvarez will take any punch from Crawford, but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G, the heaviest hitter in that division. And Canelo took those shots like a champ. I don't think Crawford has anything to beat Canelo.
As far as they say, who's pound for pound, right? This fight will say that, but who has Crawford really beat? Postal? Gamboa? Gamboa wasn't the same after he fought him, but I feel Burns. Look at Canelo's resume. Cotto, Triple G, the list goes on and on. Austin Trout. A lot of world champions, bro. So I feel that's how you measure how great a fighter is through that. So we'll see. But I just feel his resume is just, he's gonna come in this fight, be able to figure out Crawford. So,
but when the bell rang, it didn't matter what size it was. Skill won out. Crawford didn't just win. He took down a great. It said that the man from Omaha had won 11 rounds to 1. The punch did not work quickly or by chance. It was a long, 12-round lesson in the science of fighting.
I want to ask you a little bit about the history that you made tonight, and I want your opinion on which means the most to you. You became a 5-division world champion. You became the 3rd, 4-division lineal champion with Mayweather and Pacquiao. You became a 3-time undisputed champion, the first ever in the 2, 3, or 4 belt era. And you became the 2nd undisputed champion in 3 weight classes when there was only 1 champion back in 1938 with Henry Armstrong. That's a lot of stuff.
You hear that? You hear that?
Which do you think means the most?
And all of it. It all goes hand in hand.
You know what? Sometimes you try and your body cannot go, right? That's my frustration. Maybe I can figure out Crawford, but my body cannot go anymore, So
Crawford had the upper hand in the middle of the ring, making Canelo miss and pay for it. This made the bigger man give up. There's a lot of irony in this. Canelo didn't fight Crawford for years, music, because he thought he was too small and had never faced anyone. But on the biggest stage, the little man picked on the big guy.
Don't get me wrong, okay? He's a good fighter, a great fighter. I always say before I see him calling me out and want the fight and everything, I say before, he's a great fighter. But if you look at his career, mention one elite fighter. Just mention me one elite fighter.
Your reaction to Terence, what he did, that's another crazy thing, right?
No, that's not crazy. No, I say it's not crazy because I predicted. I said Canelo was going to get old in the ring that night. No disrespect to Crawford. He did a good. Crawford could have stopped him. He could have. Me being a coach and watching how the fight was going on, he could have stopped him. And I know he's saying it in his mind, but he was being humble of Canelo. He was being humble, and it was a great fight, and it was good talk for the boxing world. And that's what it's all about, to entertain, to get us something to look at. We've been entertained like this for years, for centuries, of gladiators and stuff, going in the ring, representing their fans.
Things get messy now. Before the first fight in June 2025, Terence Crawford said this would happen, music, in an interview that has gone viral. Crawford told Canelo not to do it by looking him straight in the eye. I want him to do his very best. You can't give me a reason. Crawford made it clear that he didn't want to hear about losing weight or getting sick after his win.
I asked you about if there's any rematch clause with this fight with Canelo.
No, it's not.
Is that something you pushed for?
No, I didn't.
And there's any weight restrictions to the fight at all?
No, it's not.
A lot of fighters would like to put on a weight restriction to this type of fight. Why didn't you want to do that?
Because I want him at his best. I don't want no excuses. I don't want no, reasons why, he didn't feel good or anything. I want him at his best.
Terence, when did you know that you were going to beat him? Over here on your left.
When he signed the contract.
He seemed to focus mostly on body punches, and you were hitting him in the head a lot. Was it your reach that gave you the advantage?
It was everything. He wasn't hitting the body or anything. He was hitting my elbow because I was blocking it, but you know, I think I was the better man tonight.
He wanted to be the ultimate winner, but his reasons are beginning to come out. There were rumors in Canelo's camp that he went into the September fight with a hurt arm and would need surgery soon afterward. Crawford told people not to believe the story.
Now, Saul Canelo Alvarez also, last time you saw him, he's, nursing and recovering from an elbow surgery, which he had an elbow injury going into the fight. So, you start thinking about stuff like that. I'm talking about if you Canelo, why would you say, let's go ahead with the rematch? I think I got a shot. All right. Being a competitor for one. All right. And number two, the fight was closer technically than you thought because you were in there. And in there, you felt like you were getting your ass whipped. And number three, you went in there nursing an elbow injury. So it's like, I think I may have a chance if I'm 100% healthy. All right. He feels the same way about Bivol because he had a wrist injury going into the Bivol fight. So it's just, you think about all those things and like, yeah, let me give myself a shot.
They made it sound like he wasn't at 100%. Canelo is trying to convince himself and everyone else that the story would be different if he were healthy, but the fans don't believe it. Most people who look at this on the internet think that it is weak. It looks like he fell right into Crawford's mental trap by saying that Crawford was hurt. Canelo takes away from her achievement and makes the rematch more likely.
Why the hell would Saul Canelo Alvarez take the rematch? All right, why would he start negotiating? And there's a few things going on here. Number one, there was a rematch clause. And I do know right after the fight, Saul Canelo Alvarez was like, there was nothing I could do with him. But I think what happens is you start to sit back. Let me look at the fights. Let me think about this. The fight was closer than I thought. That's what Canelo's thinking, right? Because technically it was. All right, when you think about the copy boxes, put a pin in that. We all know Terence Crawford whooped that man's ass 11 rounds to 1 in reality, all right? But if you count, punches, landed or copy by, statistically, technically, it was a closer fight, okay?
There have been times when Canelo lost. In 2013, he lost to Floyd Mayweather, and in 2022, he lost to Dmitry Bivol. But this seems different. He fought Mayweather when he was young and had little experience. He fought Bivol, Music, who was a physically bigger light heavyweight. He has no excuse this time. He fought someone who started out as a lightweight in a weight class that was right around his peak.
The Mexican ancestors of the past who normally resurrect from their graves and their spirits is in the building to give that great Mexican warrior the energy and the power that he needs to overcome the battle. Well, that didn't work this time. The slim, skinny, dark-skinned dude from Omaha, Nebraska beat you in front of all of those people. So Canelo got to get it back in blood. I respect that, Nello. Go back and do your thing, run it back, and see what you can do differently. You dig? Y'all let me know, what do you think about this Canelo rumored to want to rematch Terence Crawford in his next fight? Peace.
It got a bit closer at the weigh-in. I was like, my heart was like, nah, Canelo's got this, and but deep down, I kind of knew that it was all wrong for him. And to be honest with you, Canelo knew it was all wrong for him. I had the conversation with Canelo Alvarez probably, I don't know, a year ago, about Terence Crawford. And he was like, no, why would I fight Terence Crawford? He hates that style. And when he fought Charlo, I remember him being really disappointed that Charlo just moved and moved and moved. And that's why he ended up fighting Munguia and Berlanga, because they're guys that wouldn't do that and they'd stand in front of him. And that suits him down to the ground. Anyone that's got movement like Skull, like Crawford, he really struggles against. And when he was a bit younger and fresher, he could probably get away with it and cut it off. And, but then you see guys like Bivol and, Crawford and these guys beat him because of that movement. And I don't know what he does again. I mean, the biggest money fight out there for him is the rematch with Crawford.
Sources close to the team say that Canelo's pride won't let him accept loss. He is being eaten alive by it. He can't help but get it back in blood. Music, a feeling that many people who write on Combat share. He can't go out on his own since a small man from Omaha has won his title. It makes me think of famous figures who are always going on and on. The choice to have a rematch seems to be based on pride alone, not on logic.
Yo, peace to the family. Look, I don't saw the report. Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez. Canelo is saying, from what they're saying out there on the internet, that he wants to rematch Terence Crawford. I think that's a wonderful thing. It makes sense from a financial standpoint. If you Canelo, your ego is involved as well, because you said all of these things. You said the guy's too small. You said he ain't fought nobody. You said he's, your resume is better than his. You said that there's levels to this. And that small, skinny guy from Omaha, Nebraska beat you on Mexican Independence Day in front of all of the ancestors.
Canelo's team will have a terrible time with the money side of this fight. In fights over the last 10 years, Canelo has never been seen as unimportant. He chose the ring walks, glove makers, location, and how the money would be split. You can no longer get that power. Terence Crawford is now in charge of everything. Experts in the financial world think that Crawford will want at least a 50-50 split to go back into the ring. He should, so why not? The first fight was all his. By setting up the second fight, he is helping Canelo. Don't forget that Floyd Mayweather never agreed to fight Canelo again. Dmitry Bivol never let him fight him again. Crawford is the only one who has a dog spirit to run it back, and Canelo will pay a high price for it.
In negotiating for this rematch, he would be the first one out of the fighters who've beaten Saul Canelo Alvarez to give him a rematch. Floyd Money Mayweather didn't give Canelo Alvarez a rematch. Dmitry Bivol didn't give Canelo Alvarez a rematch. But here Terence Bud Crawford doing what he does. And let me give you a side note. Let me just put a pin in that. Put a pin in that real quick. Do you know what Terence Bud Crawford was trying to do? The type of bags he was trying to collect this year? Terence Bud Crawford accepted the Jake Paul fight. Yeah, the replacement fight for Gervonta Tank Davis. Terence Bud Crawford accepted that damn fight. Now, MVP, Jake Paul, they didn't go with Terence Bud Crawford. They went with AJ, which I'm still scratching my head on that one. All right, because that is going to be a brutal knockout. But with that said, Terence Bud Crawford said yes to this, knowing damn well he's going to negotiate with Canelo. You want to talk about the bags.